TGIF, everybody, and for the superstitious happy Friday the 13th. I hope you caught Doug's interview yesterday, Doug Casey. It's here on our YouTube channel. You got to check it out so you could kind of have a telescopic view of what might happen besides 50 pips up, 50 pips down in a currency. But when I left you Wednesday, I laid out some strategies for how to trade the CPI post CPI, not betting on the direction of the CPI. And my belief was that we were going to have a failing rally to wait to sell the cable until after the CPI. So we did take out the 61.8 level, traded as high as 22.5, and now back under the 61.8 level. I do believe that there's a possibility that this high could be important. You look at it on the daily, you'll know it's starting to do something wrong back under, say, 2080, another 90, but we have the makings of a reversal day. And if that's the case and we start heading down, equality of this move would take us down to about 116.5. So that's viable to me. And you look at that compared to, just keep this in mind, lower high. Aussie had a higher high, right? So, you know, we've made new highs in Aussie with divergence. I'd be careful with longs here, and Euro as well. Made a new high, unlike the pound. Maybe we could push to 109. We'll see what happens into next week. But when I look at it on the daily, we're definitely diverging. Also, it's not a contrarian trade to be bearish a dollar anymore. I checked DSI. They're only about 28% bulls. I'm not saying they can't go to, 15 or, we're not going to see that double digits, but starting to be long in the tooth. I'd be careful about longs there. Now, on Wednesday, I talked about that I didn't like the fact that US dollar yen on this low was confirmed. And it had me believe that we needed to test it again and not confirm. Well, we're still not confirming, but this, I think we're approaching a level, unless you think interest rates are just going to completely collapse. And so far, you have to say that the euro, the 10-year has held where it had to. It's not a great looking week. So if yields continue lower, the dollar will too. So we're at a real critical area, major support level. Next week should decide it. I actually think that the Dixie has a little better look to it than the yen does right now. RSI, as you can see on the daily, is diverging. Some of the shorter terms aren't, but on the yen, see the RSI is much lower. So I'd be looking for some type of turnaround Tuesday. I'm not getting long that today, but still the most confident short for me right now is what brought me to the dance. We were short up here, didn't get to my target, said there'll be a rally to sell, wait for post CPI. And you had a nice rally to sell, never got to 78.6. It just took out the stops and now we're lower. So let's talk about the metals. So platinum trade worked out on this 3 drive to a top formation. Probably see it a little cleaner on the 4-hour. That's something I talked about on the Wednesday video. I believe at that time, since we didn't make a new high until yesterday, I was saying look for one more high for a 3rd drive. That's going to be a short, a 3 drive to a top. That's worked very well. There's 1030 targets. You should be taking partials, and perhaps we could even take it all the way back down to 940. Silver still, with gold making new successive high after high after high, is still not confirming. It's having trouble up here around the 24 level. So we'll see if there's another attempt in silver up around these levels. It's still my contention that this return line is going to be tested. That comes in here right around 22.23. The other key event would be what happened in S&Ps yesterday. We again got back to this major trend line. and 61.8, and we're being rejected right now. This market is still vulnerable, that the S&Ps, if they can't hold this 39.25 to 39 level, I do believe there's still a chance to flush under the lows last week. And the other recommendation or the forecast that I made isn't something I rarely talk about. I do talk about WTI a lot, but I was talking about a potential bottom here in natural gas. We had this rally from 350. If we try to make new lows again next week, because weather is still cooperating, remember, it's really just, we're not even a month into winter, and I'd be looking to accumulate on weakness based upon the weather conditions are due to change in the US and possibly Europe. I think that there's value down here, and the technical setup is looking something like this. Maybe we're in drive 2 right now. So a third drive, let's call this 1. So we've already had one divergence, which was what happened 2 days ago. And if we have another one down here under 350, we're going to not confirm as well. So nice divergence, basically the opposite of what we had in platinum, right? So 3 drives could be played either way from the bottom, or with the example that I gave in platinum, 3 drives to the top. I hope that what we're doing here at TradeGATEHub, Mike and I put our hearts into it, laying everything on the court for you guys every week. You should come and join us here at TradeGATEHub.com. And I'm going to make a little special invitation to those that open an account with TradeView, that you could be included in my strategy sessions on the weekend. So consider that, let me know. And that's just opening an account. The links are there underneath the YouTube channel. So remember, have a great weekend. Don't just count your